Hey, you're listening to The Devil You Know. This is Heidi Nights. Now you get over my knee and you take it like a good boy.
If you cannot be aggressively honest about your opinions because of unfavorable consequences from employers, community leaders, etc., you can at least be honest with yourself. In the privacy of your own home and with close friends, you must support the religion which has your best interests at heart. Satanism is based on a very sound philosophy, say the emancipated. But why call it Satanism? Why not call it something like humanism, or a name that would have the connotation of a witchcraft group, something a little more esoteric, something less blatant? There is more than one reason for this. Humanism is not a religion. It is simply a way of life with no ceremony or dogma. Satanism has both ceremony and dogma. Dogma, as will be explained, is necessary. Satanism differs greatly from all other so-called white light, white witchcraft, or magical groups in the world today. These self-righteous and supercilious religions protect that their members use the powers of magic only for altruistic purposes. Satanists look with disdain upon white witchcraft groups because they feel that altruism is sinning on the layaway plan. It is unnatural to not have the desire to gain things for yourself. Satanism represents a form of controlled selfishness. This does not mean that you never do anything for anyone else. If you do something to make someone for whom you care happy, his happiness will give you a sense of gratification. Satanism advocates practicing a modified form of the Golden Rule. Our interpretation of this rule is, do unto others as they do unto you. Because if you do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and they in turn treat you badly, it goes against human nature to continue to treat them with consideration. You should do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But if your courtesy is not returned, they should be treated with the wrath they deserve. White witchcraft groups say that if you curse a person, it will return to you threefold, come home to roost, or in some way boomerang back to the sender. This is yet another indication of the guilt-ridden philosophy which is held by these neo-pagan pseudo-Christian groups. White witches want to delve into witchcraft, but cannot divorce themselves from the stigma attached to it. Therefore, they call themselves white magicians and base 75% of their philosophy on the trite and hackneyed tenets of Christianity. Anyone who pretends to be interested in magic or the occult for reasons other than gaining personal power is the worst kind of hypocrite. The Satanist respects Christianity for at least being consistent in its guilt-ridden philosophy, but can only feel contempt for people who attempt to appear emancipated from guilt by joining a witchcraft group and then practice the same basic philosophy as Christianity. White magic is supposedly utilized only for good or unselfish purposes, and black magic, we are told, is used only for selfish or evil reasons. Satanism draws no such dividing line. Magic is magic, be it used to help or hinder. The Satanist, being the magician, should have the ability to decide what is just and then apply the powers of magic to attain his goals. During white magical ceremonies, the practitioners stand within a pentagram to protect themselves from the evil forces which they call upon for help. To the Satanists, it seems a bit two-faced to call on these forces for help, while at the same time protecting yourself from the very powers you have asked for assistance. The Satanist realizes that only by putting himself in league with these forces can he fully and unhypocritically utilize the powers of darkness in his best advantage. In a satanic magical ceremony, the participants do not join hands and dance Ring Around the Rosie in a circle, burn candles of various colors for various wishes, call out the names of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost while supposedly practicing the black arts, pick a saint for their personal guide in obtaining help for their problems, dunk themselves in smelly oils and hope the money comes in, meditate so they can arrive at a great spiritual awakening, recite long incantations with the name of Jesus thrown in for good measure between every few words, etc., 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 ad nauseum. Because this is not the way to practice satanic magic. If you cannot divorce yourself from hypocritical self-deceit, you will never be successful as a magician, much less as a Satanist. The satanic religion has not merely lifted the coin, it has flipped it completely over. Therefore, why should it support the very principles to which it is completely opposed by calling itself anything other than a name which is totally in keeping with the reversed doctrines which make up the satanic philosophy? Satanism is not a white light religion. It is a religion of the flesh, the mundane, the carnal, all of which are ruled by Satan, the personification of the left-hand path. Inevitably, the next question asked is, granted, you can't call it humanism because humanism is not a religion, but why even have a religion in the first place? If all you do is what comes naturally anyway, why not just do it? Modern man has come a long way. He has become disenchanted with the nonsensical dogmas of past religions. We are living in an enlightened age. Psychiatry has made great strides in enlightening man about his true personality. We are living in an era of intellectual awareness unlike any the world has ever seen. This is all very well and good, but there is one flaw in this new state of awareness. It is one thing to accept something intellectually, but to accept the same thing emotionally is an entirely different matter. The one need that psychiatry cannot fill is man's inherent need for emotionalizing through dogma. Man needs ceremony and ritual, fantasy and enchantment. Psychiatry, despite all the good it has done, has robbed man of wonder and fantasy which religion in the past has provided. Satanism, realizing the current needs of man, fills the large gray void between religion and psychiatry. The satanic philosophy combines the fundamentals of psychology and good, honest emotionalizing, or dogma. It provides man with his much-needed fantasy. There is nothing wrong with dogma, providing it is not based on ideas and actions which go completely against human nature. The quickest way of traveling between 2 points is in a straight line. If all the guilts that have been built up can be turned into advantages, it eliminates the need for intellectual purging of the psyche in an attempt to cleanse it from these repressions. Satanism is the only religion known to man that accepts man as he is, and promotes the rationale of turning a bad thing into a good thing rather than bending over backwards to eliminate the bad thing. Therefore, after intellectually evaluating your problems through common sense and drawing on what psychiatry has taught us, if you still cannot emotionally release yourself from unwarranted guilt and put your theories into action, then you should then learn to make your guilt work for you. You should act upon your natural instincts, and then, if you cannot perform without feeling guilty, revel in your guilt. This may sound like a contradiction in terms, but if you will think about it, guilt can often add a fillip to the senses. Adults would do well to take a lesson from children. Children often take great delight in doing something they know they are not supposed to do. Yes, times have changed, but man hasn't. The basics of Satanism have always existed. The one thing that is new is the formal organization of a religion based on the universal traits of man. For centuries, magnificent structures of stone and concrete, mortar and steel have been devoted to man's abstinence. It is high time that human beings stopped fighting themselves and devoted their time to building temples designed for man's indulgences. Even though times have changed, and always will, man remains basically the same. For 2,000 years, man has done penance for something he never should have had to feel guilty about in the first place. We are tired of denying ourselves the pleasures of life which we deserve. Today, as always, man needs to enjoy himself here and now, instead of waiting for his rewards in heaven. So, why not have a religion based on indulgence? Certainly, it is consistent with the nature of the beast. We are no longer supplicating weaklings trembling before an unmerciful God who cares not whether we live or die. We are self-respecting, prideful people. We are Satanists.
Happy New Year!
Yeah!
It's 2017, John.
I'm going to write 2016 on everything for like another month. It's just crazy because you know how you
What
fucking
do you write dates on? Because I don't write dates on anything anymore.
I write dates on things I have to sign. And
Like what?
when I ship something out, I have to sign
I guess.
the international ones and got to put the date on it. And I know I'm going to write 16 because I've been doing it for a year.
You know, I think a lot of people are happy to see 16 gone, although I don't know. I think that just because of the age we're reaching, I don't think that there's going to be any fewer celebrity deaths in 2017. I think the older we get, we're just going to be seeing more and more of that. And, you know, all these people are kind of like treating 2016 like it was some kind of actual entity, you know, like
out to get
murdering
everybody.
people. Yeah. Obviously sad to see Princess Leia die right at the end, you know, but
Yeah, that's
Fisher. That was really really sad. But you know, I mean, there was a lot of sad deaths throughout the year. But it's just strange how people like forget that we're getting older, and if we're getting older, then the people we looked up to when we were young are getting much older, and it's just getting to that, you know,
that's what's
getting that time.
We're all
the
gonna
herd
go.
gets thinned out, man. Yeah,
yeah, dude, isn't it?
It
funny?
does get scary. It reminds you of your mortality, but
yeah,
you know.
definitely. Isn't it funny that, you know, Carrie Fisher's gone, Prince is gone, David Bowie's gone, but fucking Keith Richards is still alive?
That is actually fun. You know, you kind of wonder, like, you know, what's the secret? Because, like,
I think it's alcohol. He's like
he doesn't
preserved.
change, man. You know, I think I do think there's a truth to this. Like, when you work too hard, too focused, like, you should try to be healthy as you can, but when you focus everything on that, it never works out. And the people that are just like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I've known old men who are in their 80s who are eating bacon fat sandwiches till the day they die, you know? It's like, or smoking a pack of cigarettes. You're like, what the hell? You know, or, you know, old guys who would say, yeah, you know, I lived this long because when I was a kid, doctors recommended Camel cigarettes over others, you know? And, like,
Yeah.
it just makes you wonder, like, you know, sometimes just maybe not buying into every little thing you hear is a better way to live long. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Just crazy. I got a friend. He smokes non-filtered Camel cigarettes ever since he was like 9 years old, and he's kicking down 60's door right now, and he's healthy. He can out hike me. He's just, I don't get it. His lungs must be blacker than a struck match, but it's just disgusting. It's crazy.
Yeah, I did it for a long time, and I'm glad that I quit. But I don't even know if I quit just because of health reasons. I mean, I think I just quit just because it smelled nasty, my clothes stunk, and, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it was weird. I was like, every time we used to go out and do things and clubbing and all this different things and going out to bars or whatever, you see these girls and you smell perfume on them, and then they head out back and light up a cigarette, and it's like,
yep.
I just walk away.
Oh,
Where you
yeah.
going? Yeah, you're a smoker.
Yeah, it tastes like an ashtray.
Yeah, fuck.
So now, do you do the resolution thing for the new year?
No, why would I do that?
I
We're
don't
Satanists.
know.
Why do we have to say we're sorry? Unless
Not
we're really
saying
sorry.
no, wait, mate. Deciding to make yourself better is not saying that you're sorry.
But to do it because it's January 1st is so fucking weird to me,
of course
dude.
the idea doesn't make much sense at all. But except that I don't know. I mean, I could see when you get to that point, you hear everyone saying, "I'm going to do this," going, you know, maybe it's time I did. But, you know, to have to set an exact date is definitely kind of
The best time to
whatever works. Then on the other hand,
Yeah, but the best time to start a diet is now. Whenever you think of it, the best time to get into shape is now. When you think of it, and not, okay, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna eat these fucking bacon sandwiches all day, every day, and for the last week of 2016. So I could start anew on the 17th. It's just, that's a weird way to me.
well, I could see going out with a bang, like, a bang of indulgence before super indulgence, I guess, before, because, but at the same time, like, yeah, like now that we're 2 days into January or 3 days in, you don't want to now say, I think next New Year's, that's when I'm going to quit smoking. Like, in 362 days, I'm going to quit.
I'm going to do heroin, cocaine, weed, meth, and everything just for the rest of this year. Then I'm going to really quit, man. Okay.
Just like halfway
Great.
through, you're just like so fucked up. Like, oh my God, I'm going to make it though.
Crazy. So, hey, we had a point to this intro, didn't we?
No.
Yes, we did. Oh, I know what it
was
was.
it?
This episode, we're going to be talking to everyone that's a part of Third Side Network and finding out what kind of
that's right.
shows they're coming out with and what to expect and when they're coming out and all that crap. So,
Tell us, what is Third Side Network, John?
it's a network that you're a part of.
Oh yeah.
Of podcasts, vidcasts, shows, anything. There's going to be all sorts of stuff coming out. What we introduce in this episode is just the beginning.
Yeah, actually, what I'm going to be doing a show of my own on is going to be called New Resolutions.
Nice.
No, I'm not. I quit.
That a boy. That's awesome.
I don't know. That was stupid.
I might cut that out.
Well, let's get on to the hot interviews of the lost tapes of the Third Side Network.
All right.
This week we're going to do something a little different. We're going to interview a whole network worth of people. The Third Side Network.
That's right. We got a bunch of shows coming out on the Third Side. We wanted to hear from the hosts of the shows to get a feel for what's coming out and what they got planned and what we can expect from them. And up first, The Witching Hour with Jessie Twain and Marlene Shaw. How you doing, ladies?
Yeah.
Hello.
Chicks. Yeah.
How's it going? Giggle. That's what girls do. They just giggle. Yeah. Anyway. So, you guys going to be doing your show. It's coming out when? About what? Another week?
I'd say 2 weeks, right, Jessie? I think it's, we're going to do this.
We're going to record a week from when we're recording this, so, production time and all that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so about 6 months. Great.
So that takes John like an hour production.
Yeah, that's all it takes. So about a week and 1 hour. Great. So why don't you girls tell us about what it's about? What can people what can they expect from watching the show?
Obviously, if we're recording our first episode next week, we can't say definitely that this is exactly what the show is going to be, because until you start doing something, you don't really know. Any creative project you take on, you don't know what you're going to create until you create it. But our goal is
True that. True that.
Our goal is we want to really focus on various subjects from the perspective of satanic witchcraft, and hence the name The Witching Hour. So, we've bounced around ideas of, we might have guests on the show to talk about particular subjects. We might do cooking shows where we actually, film ourselves cooking. We might talk about current events. The subject matters are still quite wide open, but it's the perspective that we're really trying to focus on. And of course, Marlene and I are two very different people. So, and Satanists are individuals, so you're going to get two very different perspectives on that. But it's really, we're trying to look at the world through the lens of satanic witches.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wow, that just summed it right up right there. Yep,
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna, basically anything that we do is gonna be surrounded by principles that you're gonna find in the Satanic Witch. That's generally the whole gist of it. I just wanted to, no one's doing it, and I thought that Jessie and I would be able to represent really good and do that, so.
Excellent.
Cool. So, what can we expect maybe from the first episode? Do you guys have something planned, like an actual subject or a topic?
Yeah, we have many. We're going to be doing many different topics. I think for the first show, though, we're just going to pretty much open up with topics on lesser magic. We're going to be talking about fashion, do's and don'ts. I think what's important too is what is currently happening, and then also what remain constant in the Satanic Witch, and what you find is always going to be what principles that are from that are always going to be constant.
So this is going to be kind of like a sort of a how to live daily life and get through certain situations, that sort of thing.
Oh, I think even if we didn't mean it to be that, it would be that. Because, that's just who we are.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So when you say constants, do you mean from the Satanic Witch, exactly like the things that are bedrock, the things that apply to everything through all time?
Yes.
And then there's some things that actually do change. The Satanic Witch was written a long time ago, and certain things, in my opinion, and I believe others, has changed over time.
It has, but I think that some things, when I say constant, I mean there's certain influences that a witch will do that will always work when it comes to fashion or makeup, hair, anything like that. Definitely cooking too, like we're going to be doing cooking shows and
cool.
Just stuff like that. There's things that
I like
that will always remain. Yeah, those things will always work, and there's always things that are going to work. And even though certain things change, like you find girls that walk around with blue hair, and hey, maybe somebody might find that attractive, but.
Yeah, I don't know who does, but yeah, I hear that.
Well, that's why we would discuss what you would and wouldn't do.
That's awesome. Jessie, what are you cooking?
Well, I just, I wanted to make a comment about that, because Marlene may be able to cook. I'm not that great a cook. So, I mean, this isn't going to be like watching Julia Child or anything. You might see things like, you might see flames coming out of the frying pan is what I'm trying to forewarn you of.
It's more along the lines of the Swedish chef then.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, okay. Great.
With two of you having different strengths, then that kind of adds to, I guess, the territory that you can cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and of course, John and Marlene have been together for many years, and myself and my husband have been together for many years. And John and Brian are two very different guys to cook for, so the skill set.
John will eat anything.
Yeah. If it's got cheese, I'm good to go.
And Brian is rather picky, so I mean, we've developed different skill sets over the years, is what I'm getting at.
Okay, let me guess. Let me ask you this: Brian's a thin guy, isn't he?
Yeah, fairly thin. Yeah.
I knew it. There you go. Marlene likes to bake things because of, the type of food you cook all kinds of stuff, and I eat all kinds of stuff. It's perfect. 21 years.
Marlene figured a long time ago that she just didn't want you to be able to run away, so,
I kept breaking all the chains, yeah. So she figured she'd alter my physical appearance to make sure I stay on that couch. Damn it.
Nice. All right, well, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Is there going to be, is this going to be a live show, or is it going to be a pre-recorded?
It's going to be pre-recorded. Yeah, this way, if Jessie starts her kitchen on fire, we can, extinguish that.
Yeah, no, but that's staying in.
So, what about, are you guys going to have any kind of participation as far as, viewers maybe wanting to send in questions or anything like that?
We'll have to set up some way for them to do that, because of course we want feedback. And I wouldn't rule out the possibility of us doing live shows. It's just that's not going to be the standard.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, not at this point. And there'll be times where we have guests and times that we don't. So when we see if the topic is fitting to have someone on, then we'll be reaching out to people and asking them to join us. So.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that noise underneath Marlene, but it was the small dog was trying to hump the larger one. It's really weird. You should have seen it. I don't get it.
Topic.
They're
like
both women.
New, your larger dog is trying to hump your smaller dog.
Yeah, but this is the smaller one, which only is as big as the bigger one's head, and she's on her like fucking humping away. They both have vaginas. I don't understand it.
Oh, so they're scissoring dogs then?
Jeez. Anyway, well, ladies, it was good talking. We're gonna get on to the next guest.
But I'm in a mood.
But honestly, looking forward to the show, and
absolutely.
Yeah. Welcome to the network. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, looking forward to it as well.
All right, next up, we got Mr. Bill Butler.
You sounded like a radio show host.
Yeah. Hey, wait. Somebody's got to. We need a game show on your.
Come on down.
Third Side Network needs a game show.
Yeah. Or the next
Satanic,
contestant. Yep. Yeah. So, Bill,
Bill could totally do that. You could be like, guess that spider. Or,
oh yeah, there you go.
Guess which spider is in your pocket. Ah.
Yeah. No, this might sound creepy, but every now and then I will have a spider in a jar in my pocket when I'm out collecting, and I'll be like, I'm probably the only person sitting in a restaurant right now that has spiders in his pocket.
That's a little fucked up, yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, I know. I think about that sometimes.
Do you have a little hole in the lid so it can breathe?
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
The specimen jar.
Is it true that they breathe through their butts?
They have lungs, underneath they're like they're kind of like vents almost on the outside of their body underneath.
Where their dicks would be?
What's that?
It's where the lungs are where their dicks would be. Crazy.
Wow.
So
Crazy
anyway,
to the dicks.
let's yeah. So you got your show's coming out on Third Side Network called Devil's Playthings. Let's tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll hit you up with all kinds of questions.
Sure. Well, I decided that the easiest thing for me to do would be able to come up with a show that basically is about hobbies and interests, and I have a lot of them, so I can like profile a lot of the different kind of things I collect and do, and I can like maybe share some information with people, you know, like maybe some martial arts basics, spider information, whatever.
Yeah.
And then if everything goes smooth and I go on down the road, I can also incorporate so many of the other many people that have hobbies of their own. So, you know,
Yeah.
people that like make knives or stain glass or knit things. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can,
And you're into the spider thing, so there's gonna be a lot of creepy crawlies on the show.
you know, a lot of people seem to be most interested in that, so I probably need to make sure that happens.
So then, would you say it's kind of you're playing it's kind of like a variety show? Like it's going to be, it's not just necessarily one, you know, not just spiders, not just toys, or not just, it's a little bit of all these things.
Yeah, no, I want it to basically be a different episode about a different thing each time.
Yeah.
Just so
okay, yeah.
It makes sense
interesting
though. Like, you know, devil's playthings. It could be anything. It could be whatever, you know,
Yeah.
us Satanists are into. You know?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what I was going for with that title, because I thought about, I mean, you know, basically collecting stuff. Well, I do collect toys, but I mean, things that you collect, whether they're adult toys or kids' toys, are still toys, you know. And
Yeah. So you're gonna have a dildo collection on there too, then?
oh yeah, the
might.
jackhammer Jesus, you know. It's
boy.
funny because, like, when I've been telling people about that show, that has come up with more than just you guys. Oh, you're gonna have a dildo collection? What? So maybe.
If you know, I would actually like to see you maybe travel for your show so you can get to like the world's largest dildo.
There you go. And that would just have to be like a person.
We're standing atop the world's largest dildo. You know, like the beginning of the show.
There you go.
And there's a spider on it. Yeah. Crazy. Well, that sounds awesome. So, I mean, your first episode is going to come out when? When do you think?
I'm like, I've been working on it all day. Actually, today I'm like doing the video editing right now.
Nice.
So I expect for that episode to be done, hopefully by the end of this week.
Nice.
So fairly recently, or fairly soon.
So as far as scheduling, do you feel like once a month, or whenever you just have a
I'm hoping once a month.
Okay.
Is what I'll be shooting for. I have
great?
pretty much planned for each episode to be about 20-minute long episode.
Cool. Okay.
So.
Nice.
Very cool, man. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Well, welcome
And
to
you're
Third
planning on
Side.
having guests kind of showing their stuff and everything too, so that's kind of cool. A little more, I guess, widespread that way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at first, like everything right now is a little bit or very actually rehearsed and thought out. I'll have to toy with like this whole Skype thing and doing the homophone so I can guest on the show, and then I'll have to have them send me like some cell phone videos or stuff so I can show what they're doing and maybe them talk through it, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Very cool, man. Sounds very interesting. I'm definitely interested in it. I know that you're into a lot of cool stuff, so I'm definitely intrigued, and you got a great sense of humor too, so it should be fun.
Ooh, thanks. Yeah, and the first episode is going to be about coffee table occult books, which is pretty
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, no, cool.
and
Yeah.
I collect those, and I have a ton of them, and it's turning out really, really neat so far. So, and I thought that would like interest everybody, even the people that aren't.
yeah.
Yeah,
other stuff,
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a great kickoff show. Cool. Very cool.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, Bill. Well, thanks for jumping in here and letting us know what's going on and letting everybody know, because they've been asking, and I was like, you better hear it from the horse's mouth, and whammo.
Yeah.
There you
Looking forward to it, Bill.
Well, I appreciate it.
go. All right. Later.
All right,
You'll
take care,
see.
guys.
All right, so finally, continuing on with these interviews, we gotta go to the man that kind of helped get this show started.
Oh hell, yeah. Sorry, wait. Let me say that one.
That guy, you know.
Oh hell yeah, Gyps Fulvus, everyone. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So you've got a show coming out called Sound Sorcery on a Third Side Network, man. Tell us about it.
So Sound Sorcery is a video cast which is basically going to cover music and sound from many perspectives. Some from a scientific perspective, some from a historical perspective, and some of how it relates to things like religion, contemporary society, and the Satanic philosophy, of course.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
That sounds awesome. Are you going to be telling us about the infamous brown note? Because we really have been trying for years to find out what that note is.
Yes, I'm going to be talking a little bit about subjects like the brown note. I mean, just for one topic, I will be discussing a lot of infrasound, which basically describes frequencies below the level that humans can understand, but can be sensed. For instance, certain notes and frequencies are so low below the spectrum that it can induce sensations like vomiting or almost like nausea or like very strong discomfort. So I'll be diving a lot into that and also be providing examples of how it's been used throughout the centuries in Western music and non-Western music, as well as contemporary society such as films and scientific experiments and the like.
Awesome. Okay. Let me ask you this real quick. If I'm listening to a band or a new band or whatever, and I all of a sudden I get nauseous, does that mean that they're using the brown note?
Not necessarily. I mean, the brown note hasn't been exactly proven by science to actually exist. I mean, there are several things that have led up to it to conclude that there might be a note that induces that feeling or sensation, but it could be a number of factors, such as using elements of infrasound. Well, that too, but yes. I mean, if you talk about certain frequencies below the human ear that could really seep through the speakers, especially if a mix is not compressed or mastered or layered well, certain frequencies can undercut or overpower others, which will tap into the nerves and really just rattle you from the inside out.
Okay, so Ghost isn't using the brown note then. All right, gotcha.
No, but Kanye just sucks.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to do a show on different just different music where you hear something, maybe it was by accident or on purpose, but kind of hidden in the background. I over the years have heard different bands where there's a really well known incident on Rush on their Moving Pictures album. I think it's on the Camera's Eye song where you can hear someone talking to the producer. I think he says "Good morning, Paul" or something like that.
Yeah, very very faint sound, but mixed in such a way where if you heard it at the right spot and you really listen close, you could pick it up. Yeah, like I mean, for example, that was a very faint part that he said, but you won't necessarily hear it on first listen at first glance. It's almost like when you see something run right by you, if you don't pay enough attention to it, you'll miss it. But if you pay closer attention to it, you'll start to absorb it and notice it more. It's almost like the same thing with musical subliminals. Like if you hear masked messages or sounds that are buried underneath other sounds, purposely there to not stand out to the listener, but to give an unconscious influence on the listener. Like if you hear whispers in the background, or if you hear faint notes that are underneath certain notes to create a distinct harmony or backdrop to create a different atmosphere. Yeah. I mean there's a lot of
driving, listening to some new metal album and don't realize that they put a car crash sound and you're like, what the fuck? Driving down the road.
Yeah, I mean all these little things. I mean, definitely will be.
You know what I hate? I'm going down the road and whatever song it is, they got the sound of a police car. It fucking freaks me out every time, dude. What am I doing?
Turn your volume down real quick. All of a sudden, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, but it works. I mean, that's why they use that. They use that to manipulate the listener. I mean, sounds can manipulate and do a lot to a person experiencing and absorbing.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. That sounds like it could be a really interesting show, man.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I will be having, like, I don't know if you've asked before, but I will be having some guests. I mean, I'll have reaching out to some guest musicians and some fellow COS folks and some others who I've known in person for a while who would be interested in discussing certain topics related to sound and music and the like.
Absolutely. Very cool, man.
Dude, it's going to be a great show.
I'd be in it. I'd be down for that anytime.
Yes. So, yeah, do you have any other questions about the show that you'd like to shoot?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. When do you plan on having the first episode?
I plan on having it sometime in February. I'm thinking
Nice.
of getting a few things outlined and figuring out the first topic that I want to push out in the forefront. Guys, I don't want to really give away the store, quote unquote, right now, but I will. A couple of hints to things I will be discussing, such as music and why it's blasphemous in certain cultures and societies, or why certain music is banned in certain contexts due to the sound of the music, or why certain music is used in certain rituals, such as the lust ritual, the compassion ritual, and the destruction ritual in the Satanic religion.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wasn't there a band in like the Middle East or something doing some metal and they were getting like some shit for it?
Yes, there's actually a number of bands. There's actually a growing movement of metal bands in the Middle East who are doing metal, one of which is called Confess, who is actually on trial in Iran for performing metal. They were caught, arrested, and they're actually pending possible execution.
God, Jesus Christ, man.
Wow.
It's that serious. Yeah. And there's another band called Al Namarud who are from Saudi Arabia that can never perform live, never reveal their identities because if they're found, they could be, face brutal punishment. They could be thrown in jail, face hard labor, or just be beheaded in front of a crowd. I mean, it's that serious.
Wow.
But what a way to go out. Like, what an encore.
Well, you saw a lot of albums after that.
I mean, talk about a metal show. Like, you think you're cool because you had a goat's head on stage? We were beheaded at our last show.
I know. Imagine being able to say that.
Real talent.
But yeah, seriously, it makes a lot of the American metal bands and a lot of the European metal bands look like they're just playing it safe and very, very like hokey and cartoonish compared to the amount of audacity and fortitude that these bands in regions like the Middle East have, or even in certain parts of Asia, where cultural conservatism makes our conservatism look almost sissified compared to that.
Sissified. Loving it. Gyps, we're excited, man. We can't wait to watch this vidcast. It's going to be amazing. Looking forward to it. Just want to welcome you to the Third Side Network, man. Thank you so much for being
Absolutely,
part of it.
man.
Thank you, and you're welcome. And I'm honored as well to be welcome as part of this network.
I got to say, though, before you go, I got to publicly thank you for contributing what you did musically to the intros of everybody's shows. I mean, there's no words. I can't really thank you enough, man. It's really, really cool.
Hey,
always badass, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, you're most welcome anytime. And yes, I just can't wait for you to hear the intro music I come up with once I get it.
He's saving the good stuff.
Oh, of course. Of course. All right, man. Till next time.
All right.
Hail
Excellent.
Satan.
Catch you later. Hail Satan indeed.
Hail Satan. All right, so that does it for almost everybody who's going to be a part of the Third Side Network, but there's a couple of other people, including yourself and I.
Yeah, and we got some others coming in on board to do On the March. It's pretty much the news feed, the Church of Satan news feed in a video form. We're just going to present what's coming out there, what's being announced through the church, and in a fun way and in a...
Yeah, stylized.
Yeah, stylized. I like that. In a stylized way. Definitely.
Yeah, it's gonna be just a good way to put like the news into this network. Yeah,
and it was Magus Gilmore's idea to use On the March, because that's what he used to have on the website under the news, the Satanic News On the March. So thank you for that, Magus Gilmore, and
absolutely,
and for your other guidance, but we won't mention all that.
So we'll do our best to make the news as cool as possible.
Yeah, but thanks for joining us, everybody. Until next time, hail Satan.
Hail Satan.